All right, hello guys, how's it going? And welcome to our official October 2021 forecast. We've also switched to the fall channel art, so let us know down below what you think of that. I'm very excited about it. I can't believe it's already October 1st, but what we're going to do is get straight into things in just a moment. Now, before I do get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, how do you think this October is going to go? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're going straight over that precipitation forecast, and we're taking a look at some above average precipitation here first things first. And in the Pacific Northwest, we do expect above normal precipitation, and we're starting to get into that fall and winter pattern we've been expecting for a few months now, where there's going to be above normal precipitation up there in the Pacific Northwest. This is finally that kind of La Nina or neutral Enso pattern taking over. And this is very typical in a type of pattern we've been expecting for a while, and finally it is looking like that is going to full force take place here in the Pacific Northwest, where things could be quite stormy. Now, I think a lot of you out west are going to be very happy actually with this entire forecast. You're going to want to watch the whole thing. In the east, I don't know if you'll be so happy, so also stay tuned. But I have some bad news, but I do have a little bit of good news as well. We even have a moderate shade of this above normal precipitation here for Oregon and for Washington as well. There in the more coastal regions, these are areas that typically see more storminess than their kind of inland counterparts, where a lot of the precipitation doesn't usually make its way far into those states or far eastern regions of Washington, Oregon, and even into Idaho and Montana. Keep in mind that a lot of these mountainous regions are getting colder and colder and colder, and are expected to begin to see a lot of snowfall as we move through the month of October. So this will play a part in that as well. For these regions, the darker shade basically just indicates that we're even more confident in the above normal precipitation for this kind of northwestern region there in the darker green shade. Now we have another region of above normal precipitation, and that's going to be more for the central United States here. As you can see, most of the plains, as well as a lot of the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the upper Midwest. And this is kind of an area that, again, in a La Nina or neutral Enso pattern, typically does see that above normal precipitation. So this isn't too surprising, actually. We're going to see some storminess in this region. That's kind of the expectations, and that has been the expectations ever since our fall forecast and for a lot of our winter forecasts, that these regions will see actually a lot of precipitation. And again, that is just super typical in the ENSO pattern we are currently in. Now, what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to move on. We're going to add a second layer to this area, actually, and then we're going to move on, take a look at the below normal precipitation as well, and then move straight into the temperature forecast and eventually the overall forecast also. All right, now here we are taking a look at that moderately above normal precipitation region. And as you can see, it's for most of the more northern regions here in this area, from Kansas all the way through Nebraska, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, northern Missouri there, northern Illinois, Indiana, sorry, and then also Michigan and Wisconsin can expect this more moderately above average precipitation. Again, we are more confident in this region than the surrounding lighter green regions. So this is looking like a typical La Nina October, actually, based on what we've currently shown. And let's move on to some of that below normal precipitation now. And as you can see, for the southwestern United States, we actually do expect a little bit of some below normal precipitation. We don't get into the moderate shade of this, however. It's really easy for this to go wrong because of the fact that these areas average so little amount of rainfall. If they see pretty much any rainfall for this region, for some reason, better yet, that is kind of unexpected, they can be pushed into their average or above average precipitation very quickly. These are typically very dry regions, but it's not insanely rare to see any rainfall, so it can happen at any point, really. So we're just going to be on the watch for that, but we're not adding our moderate shade for mostly that reason there. And as you can see, we have another area of below normal precipitation, and that's going to be for the Gulf states, the southeast, and even up through the northeast and New England regions of the United States. And we're going to want to watch this one closely as well for some kind of mix-ups in the forecast, because of the fact that the hurricane season will keep going on through the month of October and a little bit of November on average at least. And this is going to play a huge role in this because any sort of tropical system that hits the Gulf states or the East Coast would completely shake up this forecast. But you have to understand as you're watching this video that that would be unforeseen and can't really be forecasted in a long range fashion. The only kind of thing we can see at this point is a pattern that would bring consistent storminess or consistent non-storminess to a region, and that's what this forecast is based on. But hurricane or tropical activity can't really be seen this far out. And we even have a moderate shade of this below normal precipitation, and that's going to be mostly for that northeastern region because this is the out of the entire Gulf or East Coast here, this is the most rare region to see that tropical activity. So this is the area that we most likely will see that below normal precipitation not really be messed with due to tropical activity. So we're more confident in that region. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, take a look at that temperature forecast, and then move straight into the overall forecast. Now, this is where the East Coast people are going to start to get a little bit upset, and even myself, I do love some below normal temperatures myself here in Virginia, but I can't really forecast what I want to happen. I have to forecast what I think will happen, and it looks as though we're going to have a negative P&A pattern set in, and I've been trying to teach you guys this because this has been the driving pattern for uh, a long time now, most of the year, I would say. And it's been a lot of positive and a lot of negative, but in this case, we're going to be seeing mostly negative. These below normal temperature anomalies expected out west is a key indication that we will have a negative P&A for most of the month. And as you can see, the western quarter here of the country is expecting below normal temperatures according to my forecast. We even have a second shade of this because I'm so confident in it. Northern California, northern Nevada there, portions of Idaho, and then all of Oregon and Washington. I'm even more confident in those colder than normal conditions for those regions up there. And I know a lot of people are disappointed by this. Certainly not the people out west, but a lot of my eastern and central folks that watch my videos are not going to like this very, very much. Unless you want an extension of summer, and it's not really going to be like that. But unless you kind of like the little bit more mild conditions, you're pretty much going to be upset. Now, let's move into those above normal temperature anomalies here. And as you can see, for most of the central and eastern United States, that is the expectations at this point. We have those above normal temperature anomalies expected for all of these regions. From the plains, and you take that eastward, we basically expect above normal conditions. Now, the only good news I can give you about this is that it probably won't be above average the entire month from October 1st till October 31st. That is very rare to see kind of pattern that persists that strongly. It's just we think a majority of the month will be featuring these above normal temperature anomalies. The other piece of good news I can give you is that it's probably not going to be like 5 degrees above average for the most part. It's probably going to be like 1 to 3 degrees above normal, which your average temperature from October 1st to October 31st is probably going down by about 10 degrees. So by the time we're taking a look at October 31st, your average temperature is going to be so low by that point that you're not really going to notice that it's above normal temperature anomalies because you're still seeing that seasonal change in the temperatures that will bring cooler conditions. Even above normal temperatures in late October will be cooler than room temperature for most of these folks. So that's another good news piece I can give you as well. Now, we do have a moderate shade of this above normal temperature anomalies, and it's mostly for the kind of northern regions here of this orange area. And this is just, again, where we're more confident in those above normal temperatures. Now, let's move into that exciting overall forecast. And here we are taking a look at it out west below normal temperatures for a majority of the western quarter of the country. Cold and snowy here for the mountainous regions of the Pacific Northwest and also for the northern Rockies. We can see snowfall in the southern Rockies as well, but I don't think it's going to be particularly more snowy than what is typical. It's probably going to be on par with what is normal. Speaking of normal, that pink region there is near normal conditions expected for a lot of Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and a bit of southern Wyoming as well. Now, up to the north central, warmer than normal. This is that moderate shade of above normal temperature anomalies. We do expect a pretty good chance at warmer than normal conditions for a majority of the month, but again, not all of the month of October. Warm and stormy here for a lot of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. We do expect some above normal temperatures and above normal precipitation as well for this green region. That'll bring some warmer and some stormier conditions. Again, doesn't mean it will always be warm, but it will be a little bit warmer than what is typical for your region. Now, this blue region, I have seen some indication that the southeast can get some colder than normal conditions for the final half of the month. That's a little bit lower confidence there, but I wanted to give you guys a piece of good news here. So cold later is possible for sure, and I would say it's likely that we do see some colder times in this region, although there will be some much warmer times as well. Warm and dry up there for the northeast, and it should make for a very beautiful fall time. Could be a little bit later than normal because of those warmer conditions, but the dry conditions is going to allow for a beautiful New England fall time. So I'm sure a lot of you are excited for that. And then finally, last but not least, this pink region. This is probably the last month we're going to include this, but watching the tropics, we still have to watch it for possible activity because the month of October, although it gets very cool, oftentimes we do see a lot of tropical activity as well during the month of October. So we're going to watch it for the entirety of the month of October. And then once we reach November, the chance for tropical activity is largely diminished by the time we're reaching into November. It's not completely gone, but it's much lower than October and especially much lower than September. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we are at a 4 out of 6. Again, this is always the highest I will go for a monthly or seasonal forecast, so that is as high as we're going today. James Marr, this is the comment of the day. Yesterday in our most updated winter forecast ever, we've pretty much changed everything. You can check that out. It's yesterday's video, like I said. I didn't ask you guys for a comment of the day, but James Marr was so disappointed by that I decided to pick him anyway. No comment of the day, and then kind of has a sad emoji there, but I picked you anyway, so hopefully that cheers you up. For today's Patron end screen of the day, I updated this as well. I know a lot of you have been asking about that. I updated the Patron Highlight of the day and also the channel membership. I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Lure the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland. It's going to take me a little bit to get those names down, but I would like to thank you guys, and then also our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Catbite, Charles Tennant, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, I think that's how you say your name, Bill Dallas, Gary's, John Quilisi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Kernenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. If you'd like to be a part of this very exciting Patron end screen of the day, you can do so by joining our very amazing Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. This one will be located next to the subscribe button down below if you are interested in joining. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I will see you guys in the next video.